Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome everyone to the fourth lecture of the second week of our NPTEL course titled Modernization and Creative Communication. I'm thrilled to have you here as we dive deeper into the fascinating ideas of Habermas, one of the most prominent thinkers of our time. This lecture will focus on his views on modernity, communicative rationality, and the critical role they play in understanding societal progress and the challenges we face in the modern world. As we explore Habermas' work, we will see how he offers a complex yet a hopeful vision for modernity's future. He is often seen as a key figure in discussions about communication, democracy, and the role of rational discourse in shaping society. Habermas doesn't simply critique the problems of modern life, he also presents a way forward grounded in his idea of communicative rationality. Habermas' vision for the future of modernity is one that blends hope with a dose of critical realism. While he acknowledges the significant challenges we face, such as societal fragmentation, alienation, and the dominance of impersonal systems like markets and bureaucracies, he believes these are not insurmountable. His central argument is that through rational discourse and public engagement, we can address these challenges. A key component of Habermas' work is the idea of communicative rationality, which emphasizes the importance of dialogue in shaping the way we understand and intersect with the world. For Habermas, communication is not just about exchanging information. It's about creating understanding and reaching consensus. In the modern age, where expert knowledge often seems disconnected from the lived realities of everyday life, Habermas believes that bridging this gap is essential. By encouraging public participation in the democratic process, we can create a more inclusive society where everyone has a voice in shaping the decisions that affect our lives. Furthermore, Habermas stresses the importance of open, rational dialogue. This is the kind of discourse where all voices are heard and where reasons, not power, guides the conversation. In this kind of environment, individuals can engage with each other on equal terms, leading to a deeper understanding of how our shared social challenges and finding solutions that work for everyone. Another crucial aspect of Habermas' thinking is the concept of the life world, the everyday realm of shared experiences and meanings. Habermas argues that modernity often distorts or disconnects culture from the life world, leaving it to be controlled by impersonal systems and institutions. He believes that to make modernity more human and inclusive, we need to reintegrate cultural achievements into the life world, making them accessible and relevant to all people, not just a select few. Ultimately, Habermas sees modernity as an ongoing process, not a static condition. It is a dynamic, evolving challenge, and it holds great potential for human emancipation and progress. However, he insists that to unlock this potential, we must remain critically engaged with modernity's contradictions and possibilities. This is where your role becomes crucial. Through reflection, dialogue, and active participation, we can all contribute to creation of a more just and democratic society. Jürgen Habermas, born in 1929 in Düsseldorf, Germany, emerged as a leading philosopher and social theorist shaped by the turbulence of Nazism, World War II, and its aftermath. These experiences fueled his focus on democracy, reason, and the public sphere. A prominent figure in critical theory and the Frankfurt School's second generation, Habermas built on the work of thinkers like Adorno and Horkheimer, critiquing societal structures while pursuing human emancipation. However, he diverged from the pessimism about modernity. Habermas embraced modernity's ideals, rational discourse, democracy, and progress, believing that they could be critically defended and advanced to address societal challenges. Habermas' work synthesizes diverse intellectual traditions. Hegel and Marx. He adopts Hegel's focus on historical processes and Marx's critique of capitalism, but emphasizes communication and dialogue over purely materialist analysis. Habermas builds on Kant's universal moral principles and rationality as the foundation of justice, central to his discourse ethics. Influenced by Gadamer, Habermas uses what is called hermeneutics to explore shared cultural meanings and context shaping human interactions. Weber's analysis of rationalization and value sphere differentiation, science, law, art informs Habermas' critiques of modernity. Drawing from Austen and Searle, Habermas integrates the performative aspects of language into his theory of communicative action, emphasizing dialogue's societal role. Let's zoom in on what makes Habermas so groundbreaking. His work revolves around several interrelated themes that address the challenges of modernity. First point to discuss is, of course, first idea that we have to discuss is communicative rationality. Habermas proposes that rationality doesn't have to be cold, mechanical, and instrumental. Instead, rationality can be found in communication. When people engage in open, reasoned dialogue, they can achieve mutual understanding and solve social problems. The next idea that we need to discuss is public sphere theory. One of Habermas' most influential ideas is the concept of the public sphere, a space where citizens come together to discuss and influence societal issues. This theory highlights the importance of free, inclusive discourse for the functioning of democracy. Habermas' ethical framework emphasizes that moral norms are only valid if they can be agreed upon by all affected parties through rational discussion. This ensures fairness, inclusivity, and rational justification for societal rules and laws. Habermas distinguishes between the life world, the realm of culture, community, and shared meanings, and systems such as bureaucracy and markets, which operate based on efficiency and control. He critiques the encroachment of systems into the life world, leading to alienation and social fragmentation. The question is, why does Habermas matter? His work isn't just academic, it's deeply relevant to understanding and addressing contemporary societal issues. His philosophy provides tools for defending democracy in an era of fake news, polarization, and declining trust in institutions. Habermas' emphasis on rational dialogue and the public sphere is more crucial than ever. Habermas builds on Marx's insights but shifts the focus from economic exploration to the ways capitalist systems undermine community, culture, and human connection. Unlike postmodern thinkers who reject the Enlightenment's ideals of reason and progress, Habermas argues that modernity is an ongoing project. He believes its core ideals, rationality, democracy, and freedom, must be critically examined, defended, and expanded. What is the meaning of modernity? Modernity is not just a historical era, it represents the transformative spirit of the Enlightenment, which emphasized rationality, science, and secular morality. It ushered in a departure from traditional religious authority and a rise in the empirical methods. Modernity for Habermas involves an ongoing process of progress that must be critically reflected upon. It requires a balance between scientific advancements, ethical considerations, and cultural evolution. Modernity also entails a differentiation of value spheres, science, law, and aesthetics, which have grown increasingly autonomous yet alienated from everyday life. This alienation forms one of the challenges Habermas believes we must address to fulfill modernity's promise. To understand modernity, we look at the pivotal moments in Western history. The Enlightenment and the scientific revolution of the 17th and 18th centuries played a crucial role fostering rationalization in society, law, and ethics. Thinkers like Max Weber identified how rationalization led to specialization, creating separate domains of knowledge and value: theoretical, moral, and aesthetic. However, this specialization came at a cost. While it enabled profound growth in each domain, it also created a disconnect between these value spheres and everyday life, leaving individuals feeling alienated from the very systems that govern them. The differentiation of value spheres is a key feature of modernity. Building on Max Weber's ideas, Jürgen Habermas highlighted how societies underwent rationalization, leading to the separation of cultural domains that were once unified under religious or metaphysical frameworks. He identified three distinct value spheres that defined modern societies. The theoretical sphere, associated with science, focuses on the pursuit of objective truth. During the Enlightenment, empirical science emerged, departing from religious and Aristotelian traditions. This marked a shift towards systematic knowledge through observation, measurement, and hypothesis formulation, enabling humanity to unlock nature's secrets and drive technological progress. The moral sphere, tied to law and justice, centers on norms and rules grounded in rational secular principles. As religious authority diminished, societies developed legal and ethical frameworks to resolve conflicts, ensure fairness, and maintain order. This domain became essential for upholding justice and societal cohesion. The aesthetic sphere emphasizes artistic expression and the pursuit of beauty. Modernity liberated art from its traditional roles in religion and politics, allowing it to become an autonomous realm. Artists explored new ideas and forms, pushing the boundaries of creativity and innovation. This differentiation allowed each sphere to specialize and operate independently, leading to advancement in knowledge, ethics, and creativity. However, it also brought challenges, including alienation, as specialized domains became detached from everyday life, and fragmentation as society struggled to reconcile the demands of science, morality, and art. Habermas emphasized that this fragmentation undermines the life world, the shared realm of meaning and culture. The life world fosters community and shared values, but risks irrelevance when systems of science, law, and art drift far from it. To address this, Habermas advocates for communicative rationality, a dialogic process enabling societies to reintegrate scientific, moral, and aesthetic achievements into everyday life. By democratizing scientific knowledge, incorporating participatory legal frameworks, and fostering inclusive art, societies can reconnect these spheres and address the challenges of modernity. Jürgen Habermas' concept of modernity as an unfinished project, presents it as a dynamic process rather than a completed historical period. Rooted in Enlightenment ideals, modernity is characterized by its commitment to reason, progress, justice, and freedom. However, while it has achieved remarkable advancement, particularly through rationalization of cultural domains, science, morality, and art, it has also introduced profound challenges. This rationalization or the differentiation of value spheres allowed these domains to specialize and flourish independently, fostering unprecedented progress in knowledge, ethics, and aesthetics. Yet, The very specialization that propelled this advancement also fragmented them, leading to alienation and a disconnection from the everyday life world where individuals create meaning and engage in shared cultural practices. Habermas critiques this fragmentation as one of modernity's central crises. Scientific knowledge, while transformative, has become increasingly abstract and inaccessible, leaving ordinary individuals feeling detached from its implications. Similarly, legal systems, though grounded in universal principles, often appear impersonal and disconnected from the lived experiences of the public. Art, once deeply intertwined with religious and cultural traditions, has moved toward avant garde expressions that can feel alienating to broader audiences. This disconnection undermines the Enlightenment promise of democratizing knowledge and integrating it into the practical and moral fabric of the society. Despite these challenges, Habermas defends modernity against both postmodernism and anti-modernism. Postmodernists, he argues, prematurely dismiss modernity as a failed project, discarding its ideals of universal reason and progress. Anti-modernists, on the other hand, advocate a return to pre-modern traditions, romanticizing a past grounded in religious authority and traditional values. Habermas critiques both positions, warning that postmodern relativism risks undermining achievements such as human rights and democracy, while anti-modernism ignores the undeniable cognitive, economic, and moral gains brought by modernization. For Habermas, the solution lies not in abandoning modernity, but in addressing its contradictions and critically renewing its promises. A key aspect of this renewal involves bridging the gap between modernity's specialized domains and the life world. Habermas highlights communicative rationality, a form of rational discourse aimed at mutual understanding and consensus, as influential as essential to this process. Unlike instrumental rationality, which prioritizes efficiency and control, communicative rationality fosters inclusivity and dialogue, reconnecting fragmented knowledge systems with the practical realities of everyday life. Through discourse ethics, moral norms can be shaped by inclusive rational dialogue, ensuring that they are fair and just for all affected parties. Habermas' historical analysis further emphasizes the emergence of secular morality as a cornerstone of modernity. Drawing on Judeo Christian traditions, modernity transited from the religious commandments to rational principles of justice and fairness. These universal norms are sustained through discourse, where individuals collectively deliberate on what is right and just. However, modernity's success depends on preserving the life world from the encroachment of systematic structures, such as markets and bureaucracies, which often prioritize efficiency over human connection and cultural continuity. Habermas' vision of modernity also includes a theory of societal evolution inspired by Lawrence Kohlberg's model of moral development. Just as individuals progress through stages of moral reasoning from pre-conventional to post-conventional, societies evolve through increasingly complex structures of cooperation and discourse. Modern post-conventional societies rely on universal moral principles and legitimate laws to coordinate actions and resolve conflicts. However, Habermas acknowledges that modernization also produces social pathologies such as alienation and disintegration, which must be addressed to fulfill modernity's potential. Ultimately, Habermas argues that modernity remains unfinished because its ideals have not been fully realized. Completing this project requires reconciling its contradictions, fostering democratic participation, and ensuring that technological, scientific, and cultural advancements align with humanistic values. Rather than rejecting modernity's legacy, Habermas calls for its critical appropriation, using its resources to build a society rooted in reason, justice, and shared understanding. By reconnecting specialized knowledge with the life world and prioritizing communicative action over systematic domination, modernity can move closer to fulfilling its promise of human emancipation and progress. Let's discuss aesthetic modernity and avant garde. Aesthetic modernity is central to Habermas' theory of modernity, emphasizing art's role in shaping cultural identity, challenging norms, and reflecting societal evolution. Emerging from the rationalization and differentiation of modernity, art became autonomous, free from religious and political constraints, enabling creativity and expression to flourish. Romanticism focused on imagination paved the way for modernist and avant-garde movements like Dadaism, Surrealism, and Cubism, which redefined art as a medium of critique and innovation. That avant-garde embodied the quest for the new, rejecting traditional representation to provoke reflection and challenge societal assumptions. However, the autonomy of art led to alienation, as avant-garde works often disconnected from everyday life, creating gaps between artistic elites and the public. Habermas critiques this fragmentation, highlighting art's drift into a self-referential isolation similar to the detachment of science and morality from the life world. Despite their limitations, avant-garde movements expanded artistic possibilities, influencing contemporary culture. Habermas calls for reconnecting art with the life world through dialogue and social engagement, aligning aesthetic practices with shared cultural understanding. By bridging this divide, art can reclaim its transformative power, contributing to the broader modernist goal of fostering just and integrated society. Habermas defends the Enlightenment ideals of reason, universalism, and progress as vital to modernity's unfinished project, challenging postmodernist critiques by thinkers like Lyotard, Derrida, and Foucault. While postmodernism critiques modernity's grand narratives exposing domination and exclusion, Habermas argues it undermines the rational foundation needed for justice and democracy. Postmodernism rejection of universal reason, favoring contextual truths shaped by power dynamics, risk relativism, which Habermas views as incompatible with societal progress. He contends that modernity's failure stem not from reason itself, but its distortion into instrumental rationality. Habermas advocates for renewing reason through communicative rationality, emphasizing dialogue, inclusivity, and consensus. Rather than discarding modernity's achievements, Habermas calls for critical engagement with its contradictions, preserving gains like human rights and democracy. While acknowledging postmodernism's insights, he criticizes its failure to provide a constructive path forward, reaffirming his commitment to modernity's emancipatory ideals through rational democratic discourse. Jürgen Habermas identifies modernity's crisis in its contradictions. While differentiation of value spheres, knowledge, and morality, it also led to fragmentation and alienation. These specialized institutions became disconnected from the life world. The shared cultural space where meaning and social coordination occur. Instrumental rationality, driven by markets and bureaucracies, exacerbates the crisis by prioritizing efficiency and control over human values, leading to the colonization of the life world. This disrupts social cohesion, fosters alienation, and erodes trust in institutions. Pluralism and individualism further fragment collective identities, complicating consensus on shared goals. For Habermas, the crisis is a challenge, not a failure. Though through communicative rationality, open, inclusive dialogue, and reconnecting institutions with the life world, modernity's achievement can be reintegrated into a just and cohesive society. Habermas links modern morality to the transition from religious to secular ethical frameworks. In pre modern societies, morality was rooted in diverse commandments, but modernity's rationalization replaced these with universal principles of justice and fairness, independent of religious authority. Habermas highlights universal validity as central to modern rationality, requiring norms to be justifiable to all affected individuals. This dialogical approach relies on rational discourse, where open and inclusive dialogue resolves conflicts and establishes shared principles. Modernity's moral framework offers emancipatory potential by promoting justice and fairness. However, it demands ongoing dialogue, consensus building, and critical reflection to fulfill its ends. Jürgen Habermas identified communicative rationality as a central solution to the challenges and crises of modernity. Unlike instrumental rationality, which focuses on efficiency and control to achieve specific goals, communicative rationality emphasizes mutual understanding and consensus through dialogue. For Habermas, the key to understanding the fragmentation and alienation of modernity lies in fostering open, inclusive communication that allows individuals to deliberate on shared norms and values in a rational and egalitarian manner. Communicative rationality operates within the life world, the space where individuals interact and derive meaning from shared cultural, social, and personal experiences. By prioritizing dialogue, it reconnects the specialized domains of modernity, such as science, law, and art, with the everyday lives of people, bridging the divide that has alienated individuals from these institutions. This approach ensures that decisions and norms are not imposed by external systems or authorities, but are product of collective reasoning and agreement. Habermas envisions communicative rationality as essential for creating a democratic and just society. It enables individuals to resolve conflicts, establish moral norms, and builds consensus without coercion and domination. Through communicative action, modern societies can address their contradictions, integrate their achievements, and work toward a more inclusive and cohesive social order. Habermas staunchly defends modernity as an incomplete yet vital project. Unlike postmodern critics who often dismiss modernity as a failed experiment, Habermas seeks his ideals, reason, justice, freedom as essential aspirations that must be continually worked toward. He critiques both postmodernism and neoconservatism for undermining these ideals. For Habermas, the goal is not to abandon modernity, but to resolve the tensions within it. These tensions, just as fragmentation of cultural spheres or the alienation caused by capitalist system, can be addressed through communicative rationality and democratic discourse. In its view, modernity's potential lies in its ability to reconcile cultural differentiation with the lived experiences of individuals. Habermas views modernity as an ongoing process requiring critical engagement to address contradictions while preserving its ideals of reason, justice, and freedom. He emphasizes reconciling tensions between specialized systems and the life world where cultural meanings and norms are shaped. Modernity's crisis, fragmentation, alienation, and life world colonization arise when efficiency and control overshadow human connection. Habermas advocates rebalancing through communicative rationality, fostering open dialogue to shape norms and institutions that reflect shared values. Rather than abandoning modernity, Habermas calls for critically aligning its achievements with emancipatory ideals by promoting democratic participation and reconnecting knowledge with everyday life. The modern project remains a path to justice, integration, and human flourishing. As we wrap up today's lesson, I want to take a moment to thank each one of you for your active participation and thoughtful reflection on Habermas' vision of modernity. Your engagement with the material has been crucial in understanding not only his ideas but also how they apply to the complexities of our world today. Habermas offers a hopeful yet critical vision of modernity, recognizing its challenges, fragmentation, alienation, and overpowering systems, while asserting its potential as a platform for progress and emancipation. He emphasizes the need for critical engagement through collective effort and rational discourse. Bridging the gap between expert knowledge and everyday life is key to Habermas' vision. He advocates for participatory democracy, where individuals actively shape decisions, fostering inclusivity and shared responsibility. Open, rational dialogue is essential for addressing societal tensions and finding just, inclusive solutions. Habermas also calls for reintegrating cultural achievements into everyday life, ensuring knowledge and culture remain accessible and meaningful to all. He sees modernity as an evolving process requiring critical reflection and active participation to realize its potential for justice, progress, and human connection. Thank you once again for your contributions today. I encourage you to continue thinking critically about Habermas' ideas and their relevance to our world. The challenges of modernity are not simple, but through dialogue, engagement, and critical reflection, we can all play a role in shaping a better future. I look forward to seeing you how you continue to explore these ideas in our upcoming lessons. Thank you.